Hello and welcome to the top 5 legendary weapons in Destiny 2. Today I'm joined by an amazing guest, someone who's definitely exploded onto the YouTube scene over the last year and a half or so in Destiny. We're joined by Llama today to engage in the discussion. What's going on, dude? Thank you for joining.
Hello, Bob. Thank you for having me. Much appreciate it.
Are you ready for the angry comments that we didn't name someone's favorite weapon? We come in peace, man. I promise. Yeah. So, what'd you think?
Good discussion.
Exactly. Yeah. I think the goal of today's video is we're gonna highlight, like, we're obviously very end game focused players. You know, day one raids, dungeons. Those are the things we look forward to. Ride of the Nine coming up, obviously. And I think our lists are going to reflect that. We've not seen each other's lists just yet, so what we're going to do in today's video is basically we're going to reveal our number 5 pick in each row, and then we'll kind of discuss those, and then we'll get to number 1 obviously at the end, and we'll kind of unveil them in order for you guys at home. We're going to start in the top row, so we're going to go the far right side. These are all covered for the viewers at home, so and for us here, we haven't seen each other's picks yet. So what is your number 5 pick in the kinetic slot?
Okay, so I've gone for Mountaintop here.
Oh, interesting.
Just because I think it's, well, it was the first of its like new frame archetype, I guess, like the missile frame for movement stuff. I know, of course, this is a list of legendary weapons, so if I could have, I would have put Alethanum, I think, just because it's primary ammo.
Right.
But just for, there aren't any like energy missile frames at the moment as well. So if you wanted to run an exotic in a different slot and you wanted the movement, you'd have Mountaintop for that. And it also has, I think, some pretty good rolls and that are not really rivaled by anything else at the moment. It's like one of the few weapons that has auto-loading recombination.
Yep.
In that, I think like the only one is Heritage after that. I could be wrong, but you know, recombination's a very good perk, especially on a missile frame rocket because of the impact damage that it deals.
Right.
I remember using it a ton in Into the Light. Don't use it too much these days because I think that's why I put it in number 5. It's still good, but in my kinetic slot, I'd probably use something else, which is, you know, the other weapons that we're going to talk about in this slot.
Right.
Yeah.
My number 5 pick is going to be Multimach. And I guess, spoiler, I don't have Mountaintop on my list. I debated putting it on there, though. It was like, and it's not my honorable mention either, but it's like right in that like number 5 fringe range. Because it was so good during the Into the Light stuff, and it's still really good. Honestly, I was using it on Zoetic Lock Set when precision weapons were bugged. I would pair Anarchy with that and kind of just use Mountaintop like crazy. So it did get kind of like a little mini resurgence for a little bit. But yeah, really good weapon. For me, I went with Multimach. So I think attrition orbs on this thing in PvE is so powerful, especially with how much access we have on Prismatic to Woven Mail, Devour, Restoration, really with whatever you're using. And Multimach empowers that, and obviously like feeds your super very quickly. And it's just a very rare role for kinetic weapons in general. And you know, with kinetic tremors, it procs that even faster, and you know, obviously you can proc it off of surrounding enemies, so you can just, the orbs that you can generate with this thing are pretty nuts. I think it lands in the number 5 slot for me, despite how unique it is. It's just, I feel like SMGs aren't the best in endgame right now relative to other weapons, and I personally, and again, this is like a very endgame focused view, I run double special a lot in a lot of activities, because special finishers obviously a thing, and so many of the special weapons that we have right now like serve different purposes and are so strong that it's kind of hard to run a primary in certain situations. But I did want to put Multimach on the list because I feel like it might be an underrated option to a lot of viewers at home. Yeah,
and it's free. You can just buy it from Banshee.
Exactly. So
yeah, even if you're a new player.
Yep. Great point.
Exactly.
Okay, what are your, let's go 4, 3, and 2 for you, and then I'll do the same, and we'll kind of debate those.
Okay, so yeah, so from my 4th one, I have as either Supremacy / Praedyth's Revenge. Praedyth's Revenge is probably better, but the role in general is just like the kinetic sniper that has kinetic tremors / whatever, better damage perks.
Yep.
Then for 3, Lost Signal, and then 2, I have Multimac. But yeah, we can talk about why I put mine higher than yours, so on and so on. But yeah, Lost Signal, Multimac as 3 and 2.
Okay. Yeah, Praedyths is interesting. I haven't gotten as much hands-on time with Praedyths, but I know that obviously the origin trait for the new Vogue weapons is like insanely powerful. Yeah. Which,
it's like a third perk.
Yeah, I mean that's alluding to, you know, some weapons later on down the list, but yeah. So
wink, wink.
I also, in my 4th slot, it is like Praedyth / Supremacy. I have Supremacy personally. I love the feel of the sniper, but I totally get. Praedyth's probably has power crept Supremacy at this point. It is insanely strong with the origin trait, like you said, basically a third perk for free. At number 3, I had Midnight Coup. This is just my tried and true, like, personal favorite. This is like, I definitely have like a personal affinity to this weapon. It is the ultimate workhorse in my opinion. It has so many good roles. You know, from like Firefly Frenzy, Firefly One for All, Explosive Frenzy, like whatever you want to take it into, it'll just absolutely dominate. You could interchange.
What's your favorite actually on your Midnight Coup? Because I want to get your opinion on that, because I have mine, but yeah, what's yours?
For endgame stuff like GMs and things like that, I would say Explosive
Frenzy. Like whenever you're running it, what do you like?
So Explosive Frenzy, but in on-level content, if I'm doing like dungeons and things, or like on-level raids, or I guess what are they, -5 now, where you can take advantage of some other damage perks, I absolutely love Firefly One for All. I think it's so strong. It feels like a mini Sunshot, to be honest, and it's super easy to use. So those are the 2 main ones for me. But yeah, I love that role. And then at number 2, I have Lost Signal. Just the darkness energy that you can collect for Transcendence, and the fact that it has auto loading. I think it's the only, I want to say it's the only area denial frame that has auto loading on it.
I think that's true. Yeah.
So it makes the flow of your gameplay so much easier. Whereas like so many other denial frames, it can be a little awkward to use because obviously like holster mods don't work with single shot GLs like that. So you have to like shoot it, reload, go about doing your thing. Whereas like Lost Signal, you can just shoot a denial frame, forget it, let it build energy while you're going about using Consecration or the Warlock slide, or, you know, going in with, you know, the grapple on Hunter or whatever you want to do. So love that for just like the not only the energy, but how easy it is to use. I think it's really strong.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And you said you had Lost Signal 3 and Multimach 2.
Yeah, I was thinking I should probably, in hindsight, I think having Multimach low is probably smarter. I'm just kind of biased because I've been doing my solo witness attempts, and Multimach is like the main gun you use for killing stuff there, and like just having the orbs to give me restoration with Prismatic Hunter is amazing. It's like the best part about it. Definitely attrition orbs is the highlight. But yeah, again, I don't really use it too much outside of that, so I guess that's kind of the bias I'm getting from it. So yeah, I could probably knock it down a touch, because I think before this number 1 weapon, Lost Signal was the better one for generating dark energy and so on and so on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I should probably move it down a bit.
I mean, hey, I get the argument for being up so high. It is definitely one of the most unique weapons in the game. Attrition orbs doesn't work super well with every single weapon archetype, so when you find the ones that do, which again is alluding to other weapons later in the video, it's really strong. So I totally get that. But I think overall we're actually like pretty aligned. So you had you had Mountaintop and I had Midnight Coup. That was the main difference. But like basically we had Lost Signal, Supremacy Praedyths, and Multimach. Okay, cool. And what is your, I think I know what your pick for 1 is gonna be. Why don't you go ahead and reveal?
Oh yes, Tenacious Mastery, of course.
Yep.
I think just the best for lots of different things, especially this season. Anti-barrier sidearm somehow working with Chill Clip. I don't know if that's intentional or not. Like there is, I think that's technically because Chill Clip is like one of the low priority things that champion mods conflict with. I remember being told about something like that. But anyway, yeah, it's got the anti-barrier, the slow for freeze, for overloads, and it can also freeze unstops, like all 3 champs in one gun. And it's also great for building your dark energy. Like within 1 magazine, you've got your full dark meter. So,
dude, it's so good. That's my number 1 pick as well. Everything you just said stuns all 3 champions this episode with 1 gun, which is just insane, because that obviously opens up like so much loadout flexibility when you have one single gun that can do that in in-game content. I also think Chill Clip is super underrated on Rocket's sidearms for the AoE slow that it does on crowds of enemies is actually so strong, like way more than I anticipated. Yeah, so that's really strong. It you know, enemies can't like throw their, you know, acolyte grenades at you nearly as fast, and they aren't reacting to you as quickly. And then obviously because it is a splash damage type of effect, you're building darkness energy so fast because of the impact damage. Even faster than Lost Signal. Those are the 2 absolute goats in the game at generating darkness energy, which again, we're gonna allude to like the Transcendence bar a lot here, because it, in my opinion, Prismatic is the hard meta in about 99% of the content. There's new builds that just keep getting found that are like even stronger than the ones that we thought were strong previously, like, and they just keep getting better and better. And I think with artifact mods, they're just going to continue to accentuate that. So Tenacious is, I honestly, when they announced the weapon, I thought it was going to be solid. I never thought it would be this good. Like it is. It's kind of, because there's other rocket sidearms I absolutely love, and it's just taken the absolute driver's seat. It is my number 1 most used weapon this episode, like by a mile. So yeah, I was never really using it much like beforehand, but I just kind of got on the wave this episode. And it's like, the way I think about it is like the call, everyone loved the call during the final shape, but it kind of walked so Tenacious Mastery could run. Basically. And if you guys don't have it, I'm so sorry to say, you have to go into Iron Banner to get it. But all you need is Chill Clip on it. So if you get even a single Chill Clip roll, the other stuff, the other perks that you know, like the God Roll guides are selling you on, I promise you, they are worth it. But just Chill Clip is the most important part. As long as you have that, it is an insanely powerful weapon. So, all right, cool. So that's the kinetic slot. Let's move down to the energy slot. We'll do the same thing. We'll start with number 5 for each of us, and then we'll dive 4, 3, 2, and then 1.
Okay, so number 5 in the energy slot, I have the Omniscient Eye, the sniper rifle from Goss. Just because, like, with the energy slot, it's actually like somewhat, I don't know, I kind of found it somewhat difficult to select like 5 weapons that are like really great, or like that I use often. So just for the 5th one, I have Omniscient Eye, because I think it is probably like the best in slot rapid fire sniper. Rapid fire snipers are like the best archetype of sniper, like in general. And Omniscient is a rapid. It's also solar stuff is generally the best, and it gets my role here, I have 4th times plus precision instrument. So it's just, if you ever need a sort of source of special ammo damage after your heavy is completely depleted, you can just go with this because it's pretty decent. Other snipers in the energy slot, I think the closest one to that might be like the Akelos, or Akelos sniper. But again, this thing just gets better rolls now, and I think it has a better origin tray as well, the photo inhibition. So I mean, not that you're going to use that much on a sniper, but yeah, that's my number 5 because I think it's decent for whenever you need that special ammo damage.
Interesting shout. I honestly, I can't say I've used Omniscient personally. I think usually when I run snipers, I default to the kinetic slot because there's such good options there. But that gives you the flexibility to use it wherever, though, to be fair. Because, I mean, Omniscient's definitely really solid looking at the perk pool and such. So, interesting. And like the Gauss weapons just became craftable, last episode? So they're still relatively new to a lot of folks. So, maybe... that will be kind of an eye-opener. You guys should give that one a try. My number 5 is a weapon from this episode. It is my personal favorite, is Psychropomp. I think, dude, the
Yeah.
ambitious rolling storm roll is so much fun to use. It's so good, especially this episode, obviously, with like the artifact mods that enhance it even further, but it builds bolt charge so fast. And I
Yeah.
love this weapon for that. Any weapon, I think one of the things that's super important when looking at lists like this is like, there's so many weapons that do the same thing. Like back in the day, I think one of the arguments was how many, you know, outlaw rampage hand cannons do we need? This is
the
like
classic.
the exact opposite, like right? Like where Multimach does something so unique. Tanasha's does something so unique. Psycho Pump, I find, is in that same category where like Rolling Storm right now is just such a rare perk, and getting on that on a denial frame to super enhance that playstyle and just have bolt charge, you know, you're basically become Thor, just like raining lightning down from the sky. It is, I think it's so much fun, and I actually think it'll gain value when we lose some of the artifact mods and you want to build into that playstyle.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if we lose dielectric, then yeah, that'll be something. Because yeah, no, I agree. I also like what is it? I think you can get auto-loading honing on it as well. It's just like a really good way of doing your arc damage in any damage rotations. Oh, sorry, not auto-loading. Envious honing.
Yeah.
On Psycho Pump. So
Yep.
if you want that, plus that's probably the best new damage perk in the game. So and it gets it.
Dude.
Yeah, I thought about that too. But yeah, whenever we can talk about other weapons that compete for it.
For sure. What are your 4, 3, and 2?
So 4, 3, and 2, I have Zauli's Bane. Basically a legendary Sunshot, almost.
Yep.
And then I have No Hesitation for some, you know, end game stuff, and then the Velocity Baton. That's why I kind of didn't go for Psycho Pump. I didn't want to have 2 denial frames. So I think the Baton is probably like, I think it is better than it, but it fills a different role.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my 4, 3, and 2.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So at number 4, we're the same. I also have Zauli's Bane.
Okay.
I think this one might. I personally think it's like a beloved like workhorse that a lot of people use in the energy slot when they need a primary. There's a lot of people that don't like the way this weapon, like, I guess feels necessarily, because the reload feels clunky a little bit, but the gun itself is so strong. I also think the garden hand cannon, was it Ancient Gospel? Is that the garden hand
Yes, I think it is Ancient. Ancient Gospel.
That's kind of an honorable mention in the same slot. They are relatively similar, so it's kind of, I guess, personal preference on that, or you know, if you're using a void build or solar build, whatever. But yeah, so at 4, I also have Zauli's. At 3, I have my beloved baby Indebted Kindness. This is what made me fall in love with rocket sidearms. I think it's kind of funny because I don't know if you remember, but when Warlord's Ruin came out, people were like, oh yeah, this is cool, like, you know, rocket sidearm, whatever, and then they kind of like fell off for a while, and then they had like a total resurgence of popularity, and everyone was like farming for it like crazy. I think leading up to Pantheon.
Yes, exactly.
They realized like, oh, wow, these are insanely powerful. So that is my personal favorite. I love the lead from gold roll on it with Volt Shot. I know a lot of people love the beacon rounds. I personally don't find it necessary, but like if you like that extra kind of targeting on it, but the lead from gold, dude, oh my goodness, for ammo economy, you could just use it like a primary. So it was insane. And then at 2, I have another rocket sidearm, but fills a totally different role in Aberrant Action. I think Aberrant is the best solo weapon in the game currently. It is so powerful for empowering you. If you guys are going for, like, say, for example, you're going for solo Flawless Sunder Doctrine, if you want a weapon to absolutely carry you and carry your survivability, Aberrant Action with Heal Clip is just like absolute next level powerful. So for
Heal
that
Clip
reason,
is broken.
It is so good. I mean, it's a 50% heal on command, you know, with rocket sidearms, the fact that you kill most enemies in one shot and you can just quick reload that one bullet for an insta heal is so strong. Those are my options. So you had Zauli's No Hesitation Velocity Baton.
Yes.
I want to hear more about No Hesitation. What is your reasoning for the pick on that? Because I've had that in previous videos, and I want to get your thoughts on it.
So yeah, No Hesitation is like an example of it's a very niche weapon, but it's amazing at that niche, which is basically exclusively restricted to underlight content, more specifically day one dungeons and day one raids. Because I'm sure viewers probably remember using the no hesitation in the Herald of Finality encounter in day one Salvation's Edge. I think so many teams use it there, self included, and remember it sort of carrying because yeah, it's just the fact that it gives your teammates and yourself restoration, something which, like, I like the new support frame in the kinetic slot. I can't remember what it's called, but it's just not the same because it doesn't give resto.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just great for that. Especially like Herald of Finality is the best example because when you go into the pit in the middle when it's called to Reckoning, you can just keep your teammates alive even when the Herald is just blasting them. So it's great for that, or just like any underlight content in general. Plus, people might not know, when you get the healing effect from the auto, you also get a 10% damage boost that applies to like literally everything. It's like a stacking 10%. It's the support frame boost, so not many people know about that, I think. So yeah, it does increase your damage as well as heal you as well. So it's a very good support weapon. I would, yeah, like, if I'd probably overall replace it with like another rocket sidearm, but I just thought I'd put it on there because just to shout out that one place where it's like really good.
So what is your number one energy slot
Number
weapon?
one, well, so I've just listed this as like rocket sidearm, basically. I wasn't really sure which one to pick. Out of the energy ones, obviously you have Aberrant Action, Indebted Kindness, and Lotus Eater, the new one.
Yep.
In terms of like which ones I've used the most, if I had to kind of put it down in respect to that metric, I've definitely got the most kills on Indebted Kindness just because it was the first and it was like the only one for a very long time.
Yep.
So I definitely, if I had to pick a favorite, I would say Indebted Kindness.
Okay.
Objectively, I'm not actually too sure. I think I've definitely used Lotus Eater the least, despite it having like the very good combo of Repulsor Brace and Destabilizing Rounds, 2 perks of which have just gotten massively buffed. Like I think in Revenant, Void Overshield got buffed from like 40% to now 70% DR, and in Heresy, you just now get volatile rounds after getting a kill with destabilizing. So it's like a great combo. But then Heal Clip is really good on Aberrant Action, so I'm not sure if I'm leaning more in that direction. Indebted is just the GOAT, so I could just put that as number one. Okay. But it's just kind of rocket sidearm in general, objectively best energy slot weapon.
Yeah.
Kind of up,
I agree.
Yeah, to choose which one, I'm not sure, but yeah.
And here's another note. I would say it goes Tanasha's is in its own tier, and then the rest are just a tier under that. But they're all insanely strong. It's like Tanasha's best special weapon in the game, other rocket sidearms, and then you could maybe make the argument a couple other specials are in that same tier, and then it's kind of like everything else falls below that at the moment. So if you guys aren't using rocket sidearms, you haven't tried them, go try them. They're very strong right now.
It's funny though, because like I remember when I was watching the Final Shape showcase, and they said that they were working on new weapons like a rocket sidearm. I think my first reaction was like, what's that? Like, I don't want to use that, or like, because I think sidearm, like, just never use sidearms, so it's like rocket sidearm. I guess I just kind of, I judged it too harshly, because obviously they became these titans of the energy slot. So I was wrong about that.
Gotcha. Okay, so we'll throw Indebted as your pick, as your like personal favorite. That's like your baby. Okay, and then at number one, you mentioned this at number 2 on your list. I have Velocity Baton. I think simply because, again, it's the uniqueness of the role. Attrition orbs on a denial frame is borderline busted for how many orbs you can generate, and you know, if you need orbs to not only get your supers quickly, but you want to get just constant uptime on Woven Mail, Restoration, Devour, whatever you're using on prismatic subclasses, Velocity empowers you to do that better than anything else. It builds light energy portion of your Transcendence bar faster than anything else. And I mean, it's just, it comes with godly perks as well. You can go with Demo. It comes with Destab, obviously Attrition Orbs, as I mentioned. There's so many good rolls on this thing. It is an absolute pain to farm for. If you guys want to do first encounter Vesper's Host, that's where you can grab it from, and farm that mindlessly on cooldown, especially after the ball dupe glitch on the core is being removed. But yeah, it's special weapon. It's just so unique compared to anything else in the game. And I think when it originally got when it originally dropped with Vesper's Host, I feel like everybody latched onto Chill Inhibitor, myself included, made videos on it, and Velocity Baton like kind of went under the radar for a little bit, and then it's just like skyrocketed in popularity with how many orbs it gens on the Denial Frame archetype. So super strong weapon.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about that as well. Like, do I put Velocity as number 1 or like number 2? Yeah, I think Rocket Sidearm probably has slightly more utility, but again, it depends what kind of content you're doing. Yeah, Velocity Baton, great. For sure, that's fair enough.
For sure. All right, let's go to the heavy slots. This video has gone on a little longer. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed the discussion. If you've made it to this point, make sure you drop a like on the video. Make sure you guys go over to Llama's channel, show him some love because he's taking time out of his day to have this conversation with us. So, dude, thank you again for joining. I've really enjoyed the discussion so far.
Oh yeah, this is great.
So, heavy weapons, number 5. What is your number 5 pick?
Number 5, I have the Scintillation Linear Fusion Rifle. Again, because I wasn't too sure what to really put as far as legendary weapons go. There's definitely more uniqueness with exotic weapons in the heavy slot, at least I think. But as far as legendaries are concerned, just kind of fill the slot. I think Scintillation's probably the best linear fusion rifle. If not, I think Mistral Lift, the one from the Dawning, is technically better because it gets... I don't know what perks. I might even just look it up. But I mean, they're quite similar. I think they both have Viced Stinger, which is like the big reason why they're quite good.
Right.
So Mistral Lift gets Envious Arsenal, whereas Scintillation doesn't. Scintillation's best reload perk is Rewind Rounds, but they both have Viced Stinger, which is like, amazing on linears. If you remember back in the day when Viced Stinger used to reload your entire mag rather than 25% of it, like it does now. Like, you just never stopped shooting. It was literally like a third perk.
Do you remember the weapon that was like mega popular on originally?
It was Reed's Regret, right?
Reed's Regret.
Yep.
Yeah. It was so busted, dude. You just never had to reload.
The witch screen meta.
Yep.
So that was great. But yeah.
That's a great shout, and I mean, that's a perk, Envious Arsenal, that has absolutely taken over endgame. So you're gonna see that a lot in this heavy slot. My number 5 pick is Pro Memoria. It is the Strand LMG from the Pale Heart. And I love this thing because it comes with really solid perks. I believe it comes with Demo, Desperate Measures. I think it also comes with Frenzy. But in general, if you guys are running weapons in, the other 2 slots, for example, like one of my favorite loadouts this season, I actually have a build video on the channel with it, is kind of like the Slide Warlock, like basically the Consecration, the Warlock's version of Consecration. And with that loadout, I play super aggressive. It's Tanasha's Lord of Wolves and then Pro Memoria to help build darkness stacks very quickly. Because obviously Tanasha's is like your solo every single champion utility, and then Pro Memoria allows you to be a little more like spammy with your ammo to help build the darkness bar if you don't always want to be spamming your Tanashas and save some ammo. So really good, and it comes with perks that are empowered by Prismatic. Like when you're going in and you're doing a slide melee, you kill a bunch of ads, all of a sudden instant 30% damage boost. You're just it feels so good to use. So and it's craftable. It's very accessible to a lot of players. And I think machine guns are a little underrated right now, to be honest. So yeah, that would be my number 5 pick. All right, what are your number 4, 3, and 2?
So 4, 3, and 2, I have Chill Inhibitor in 4th, which kind of feels a bit wrong, but
dude, right?
I think I have my reasons for that. And then 3, Corrective Measure, and then 2, Hez and Vengeance. I have. Those are my picks.
Those are all great weapons. So I have 2 of those 3 are the same for me. So in the number 4 slot, I have the Slammer. And this can really be any Eager Edge sword. I think the Slammer is best in slot simply because it has Cold Steel, so really good against champions, and just generally good for freezing or slowing enemies, when you actually decide to use it for damage and not just movement. Chill Inhibitor, I have at number 3, so pretty similar placement to you. If this was last episode, would be number 1, undoubtedly. And then at number 2, I have Corrective Measure. So the only other machine gun on my list personally, but yeah, those are mine. What are your initial thoughts?
Well, so I've put Chill Inhibitor in like last-ish place because it did get a nerf. I think it was, what was it? It was like a 10% damage nerf and a 15% reserves nerf, if I remember off the top of my head, in episode Heresy. And yeah, it just so happens that Queenbreaker is completely overshadowing it, which is quite funny.
Yeah.
But I think it's still like a very good weapon. If we still had artifact perks like I can't remember what it was called, the weaken clear, whatever it came back, concussive reload, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
If we still had that, it would be great, because that's like just one of the best artifact perks ever. And it does get like really solid rolls like Envious, bait and switch. It also gets Cascade, bait and switch for like more niche specific damage rotations.
Yep.
And it's a rapid fire frame. I think they're the best for GLs in general. But yeah, just so many things overshadowing it this season, which is a bit unfortunate, like Linear's Queenbreaker and even things like Finality's Augur, for example. Lots of overshadowing this time.
I think it's interesting. That's a good point that you make too, because like I think episode to episode, people heavily underrate really powerful weapons that you know are still incredibly strong. And honestly, this was going to be an honorable mention in the energy slot. It kind of reminds me of like how strong Forbearance still is, but no one uses it because denial frames are just a thing and rocket sidearms are a thing. But if you go and use it, it's still an incredible weapon. So like, Chill Inhibitor, if you go and use it on a boss, you'll still absolutely cook bosses with it. It's just we don't have the crazy mods with it, which is a great point. Interested on your thoughts on Corrective.
Yeah, I think it's probably the best in slot machine gun now. I really like the rapid fire archetype, or the new archetype they added with Pro Memoria in Final Shape. Yeah, the aggressive frame, 600 RPM. I really like that. Yeah. And I believe in Destiny 1, Corrective Measure was a rapid fire, and they brought it back as like a 450. So I might be wrong about that, but I think it fired faster in Destiny 1 anyway. But that's what I remember liking about it, was how quickly it fired. So with the new version, I like that. Plus it gets all of the up-to-date Void perks like Demoralize, and obviously it gets destabilizing rounds as well. I think its main competition would be Commemoration. But again, Commemoration is kind of outdated. It has a worse origin trait. The Vogue origin trait is just like power creep the origin trait, because like you don't even need a reload perk anymore. The reason why people love Commemoration is because of Reconstruction, but Reconstruction received a nerf, and just this new origin trait is a lot better in my opinion, because you do get your super and use it pretty often, so you'll be surprised how quickly you do manage to get that double overflowed mag with the machine gun. And obviously it does 10% more damage I think this season as well if you have the booster on, so it's basically the best machine gun. That's why I put it there.
Dude, it's so good. Yeah, I mean, and I think for me, it's just like the quantity of top tier rolls is absolutely insane. So like,
yeah, so many.
In the third column, you have, what is this? You have destabilizing, you have Firefly, you have demo, you have rewind rounds if you want that, you have subsistence if you want that, you've got redirection, which was newly buffed and is very, very strong. And then in the fourth slot, you've got Killing Tally, you have Elemental Honing, you've got One for All, you've got Withering Gaze for a free debuff, and you've got Demoralize as well to weaken surrounding targets. It's just like, it's insane. It comes with so many good rolls.
Stacked.
The new archetype, like you noted, the 600 aggressive, it makes it feel way better than it did before, and I was already a fan of it. I think it's the best machine gun in the game, for sure.
Yeah.
And funny enough, it pairs very well. If again, I know we're kind of belaboring the point of like the Transcendence bar, but if you guys are using things like Tanasha's or Lost Signal in you know the kinetic slot, what's a great way to build light energy? Corrective is an amazing weapon to do that.
There it is.
Especially when you're splashing, you know, damage across all these enemies with either destab or demoralize or whatever. It's such a good weapon. So highly recommend if you guys haven't gone into Vogue and farmed for that yet. Absolutely worth farming for. What is your number one heavy weapon?
Okay, so for my number one, I've put an Eager Edge Sword, but that's not to say that like Eager Edge Sword is just better than everything underneath it. I think that's just because, I don't know, I just really love Eager Edge Swords just for the movement and all the cool movement tech you can do with it. If I had to pick one, it would either be Slammer or guillotine just because of the vortex, like enhanced speed when you do skates and stuff like that. That's more of just a sort of like, I don't know, how do I put this, like a personal favorite. If I really had to pick like an objective best weapon other than that, it would be Hezen Vengeance, which I put as my number 2 anyway. But yeah, I just love the eager edge swords. That's why I put that there, basically.
I think a lot of people are the same boat as you too, especially in like such an ability heavy meta. With prismatic being a thing, like I think a lot of people just use it for movement for fun, so I totally understand.
Yeah, you use it all the time.
And then objectively, my number 1, Hezen's Vengeance.
Yeah,
dude, I mean, I talk about this on stream a lot, but it's so funny to me how like just metas evolve and change and shift over time. Because like I think about it like with GLs. Remember I think it was like pre Witch Queen, maybe everybody was farming for Wendigo. And then we go from Wendigo and we get, I think it was like the Regnant, I think, and then and then the Trials one came out, like the Strand Cataphract, I think it was, came out.
Yes.
And then after that, then it was Bittersweet, and then after Bittersweet, it was Chill Inhibitor, and they just keep getting better and better. This is like the rocket equivalent of that, where like there's so many other good rockets in the game. Yeah, and it's actually been quite a while. I think the previous would be what?
I genuinely think it's Apex Predator.
It has to be Apex. Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah.
I think it's Apex Predator, and now that Reconstruction received the nerf, Hezen's Vengeance has the incredible origin trait. It has Envious Arsenal bait and switch. Like it has elemental honing for more niche uses. Like I know some people are farming for that for Solo Witness and other like crazy damage rotation.
Great for Witness. Yeah.
It is just an insane weapon. Well, very interesting discussion. Llama, I appreciate you joining. Again, for
that was fun.
all the viewers at home, he does amazing YouTube content. He also streams Destiny quite a bit, so make sure you guys go drop him follows. We'll have all the links down in the description. And keep an eye out for the next iteration of this video series. We're going to be doing the top 5 exotics in each slot. Because as you guys can see, the video's gone a very long time and we only covered legendary weapons. So yeah, I appreciate your time today, dude. Thank you for joining. And
yes, thank you for having me.
Any closing statements before we go?
Closing statements? No, just it was awesome. It was fun, dude. Thank you for having me. And yeah, no, I look forward to seeing it on the channel.
Oh yeah.
Look forward to watching it back.
Oh yeah. I think my only one would be Bungie. Give us a Frontiers release date. We want to know when the raid date is.
Yes, please. When is it coming out?
Please, man.
That's it.
I know all the people who aren't interested in Marathon are like, dude, where the hell is the Frontiers release date? So anyway, without further ado, yeah, thank you again, dude. Appreciate you joining, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Bye.